I'm Jon Mercer, president and co-founder of Startup Bucks, which administers the Bucks Built program. But before we get into the spiel on everything, I'll just start going around the room while people are joining and just let you guys give like 30 seconds on who you are, where you are, and what you do if you have a startup or whatever you're working on. So, and then we'll introduce ourselves too. But who do I see here? Carl. Do I see that? I don't know. Carl Essen. You're muted. Still muted, Carl. Last chance. I'm going to Noel. All right, Noel. Good stat.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Noel.
Thanks for having me. My name is Noel Goodstead. I'm a faculty member at the University of Philadelphia. I'm also a COO of a startup company trying to redesign masks to protect people from things like we've just gone through. So we just actually started our pre-sale as of this week. So
cool.
We're early in our development.
Awesome. And guys, one thing we like in Startup Bucks and Bucks Built and Founders 30 is one of the programs we'll tell you about too, but we love using the chat. So if you guys want to connect and share any info about your companies, yourselves over the chat, make fun of me.
I'll do that. Hold on.
He's Eric about getting so dressed up for this today.
Carl in St. Louis, I got unmuted.
Oh, good, Carl.
Yeah.
Carl, you're St. Louis. What do you do?
St. Louis, Missouri. I got badge 250 at Venture Cafe St. Louis, but we got a concern called archbridge.us, and we get involved. We bringing in PPE items from China back during the pandemic, and
cool.
for the different hospital chains, and mostly in freight forwarding type activities.
Nice. A lot of PPE stuff going on here. How about
and then we're doing a using or blockchain for tracking shipments, so it's virtual, so that the need to know is to the proper people, so that they can qualify from the factory to the hospital the path of that item and where it was.
Cool.
Which is exciting.
Very cool. Well, welcome. Yeah. Thanks for joining. I'll keep going around with the intros.
Yeah.
We got the music going. I'll turn it down once we do start getting to our program. But Mark Graves, where are you? There you go.
Hi, it's Mark Graves, but lots of people get that wrong. And the easiest names, the hardest names to pronounce are the ones spelled phonetically, especially those long ones from India.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what I do is I've been a technical writer for many, many years. So that's a service that a lot of companies need and don't start doing it until they should, they tend to wait too long to start. It's pretty common. My current contract is a huge company, Comcast Business, but the work I'm doing is specifically related to onboarding and service transitions, all the stuff that happens after companies have a customer, and all the stuff that most organizations, small and big, tend to ignore.
Cool. Welcome.
Yeah, it's a really important thing.
Where were you based again? Did you tell us where you were?
I live in Bucks County.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
Currently in Ivyville. Well, that's why I'm staying, and that's, I'm always interested to meet, groups like yours that are actually operating in Bucks County. I know them all over the region. So
there you go. Cool. All right, let's get to Andy.
So I'll post my info on LinkedIn, and anyone here is welcome to connect.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. Andy, do I want to try your last name, Sechi? Is that right?
Close. Checky. Like you would write check and then throw a Y on the end of it.
All right. Welcome. Where are you?
So I'm in Philadelphia. Actually moved here about 3.5 years ago for my second job. My W-2. I am a customer success specialist at SAP. So I primarily focus in the enterprise space and work with very large customers and making sure that when the things go wrong, they have someone to yell at.
There you go.
So recently, I've gotten into looking to form my own company. So I've spent the last several months going through product design and looking at a market fit. So still very early on, but just starting the process and want to make sure I take And the phrase I use is the Gulfstream approach. And I want to make sure I'm building a product that the people want. And Gulfstream did it for the pilots, and that's what I want to make sure I do here.
Good. We love that. Awesome. All right. I'm going to start turning the music down because we'll get to start introducing the folks from Startup Bucks in our cohort. But I don't know, is anybody in that room, Angela? Looks like it's bumping. Party time. Okay, I guess not. I'll turn the two. I don't know if they could talk to us actually. Anyway, so I'm Jon Mercer, the president and co-founder of Startup Bucks, a 501c3 in Bucks County. It's about, what, year and a half, 2 years old, guys? And focused on connecting startup founders in and around Bucks County with community resources and capital to grow beyond Bucks County. So we focus on startups that we say they're innovative and designing for scale. So if you're a startup yoga studio that has a couple locations in Bucks County, not quite in our scope. There's plenty of chambers of commerce and networking groups and all those things you could talk to. But if you are a startup platform that is online, maybe you're a yoga professional or you have some interest in yoga and you want to go live to the world and you can reach anybody anywhere, that's where we would come in and help you out, either with funding, with mentoring, with connections with the community, with others that can help you out, resources, anything. In the community, we don't just mean Bucks County. We connect with Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, everywhere, even beyond that. So that's what we do. I'll tell you more about our programs, but I'll go around and call out the folks on the call that are with Startup Bucks directly. So first, I'll give it to Mark Mitchell. So,
hey,
Mark.
good evening, everybody. Nice to meet you all. So Mark Mitchell's my name. I'm pretty active in the angel community, especially around Philadelphia. So I'm on the board of Startup Bucks. I'm also the program advisor for the Bucks Built program that we're going to talk about today. I spend most of my time with the Delaware Crossing Angel Investor Group, which is primarily Bucks County, also Princeton, New Jersey-based angel group. I'm also on the board with Mid-Atlantic Diamond Ventures. Some of you might know. I sit on the review committees for Ben Franklin Technology Partners and various other aspects in terms of coaching and mentoring the startup community in the area. Nice to meet you all.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. And guys, again, as we do with most of our programs, pretty casual and informal stuff. If you want to just jump in at any point and ask a question or drop something in the chat, definitely interactive. So let me hand it off to Martin Facazio.
Hello, everybody. I am Martin, and I'm also on the board of Startup Bucks, and I also do a lot of kind of organizational, operational stuff, including wrestling our technology stack to the ground, beating it into submission. I come from some spectacularly fast-growing companies over the years that grew, went public, and then I did it all again, taking, employee number 50 through employee 30,000 and then do it again because I'm a glutton for punishment. But love the startup community in Bucks. I live in Bucks, and I think that there's an energy here that I don't really pick up on anywhere else in the world where I've gone, and hoping to help all of the best startups start here.
Got it. Thanks, Martin. Mark, you said that won't let you edit. I don't know what you want to edit, but
no, no big deal. It just bounces you out of the field, and then you're done. You're stuck. You hit return you hit the wrong button. You're
Gotcha.
bounced out, and you've got a stupid looking entry there in the chat that you can't fix. Every single one, we use Teams at work. Every single one of these apps has its own little weirdnesses, and I will stop now.
No, all good. I'll keep going around, and guys, and then we'll get into what the Bucks Built program is, and then just really kind of open about funding your startup too, and how Bucks Built and other programs can play a role. Let's go. Let's get to our Johnny Z, our Bucks Built program associate, and also volunteers with Founders 30 program too. So he does it all. But Johnny Z.
Yeah. So I'm John Sikowski. I am a Philadelphia native. Moved to New York, came back to the city recently, former founder myself, and as John mentioned, the program associate for the Bucks Built program. So that means I help go out and find startups, I help answer questions, I help deal with whatever sort of logistical issues or other kind of, smaller matters might come up that you just need help with. So here to sort of provide assistance for you as you need it and, get some good companies in.
Awesome. Johnny Z. All right, and then we'll get to our two folks from our inaugural Bucks Built cohort. So these are recipients from the first round, the inaugural round that launched. The application round was open in November. So it's the same program that the application round is open for right now. So each of these folks received $25,000 in investment from Bucks County. And then they're currently receiving ongoing advisory support from us in the community. And we'll tell you why it's a little bit different than your usual kind of accelerator or incubator program. But first, I will hand it off to Mumby, who has an amazing background there. I don't know if I've seen this one, Mumby.
Yeah, I have one here just to show you what we're working on. So, hey, my name is Mumby Dunjua. Great to be here and great to be a part of the Bucks Built cohort. I am founder and CEO of Naturals. We formulate, manufacture, and sell 100% vegan hair care products for textured hair. And these products are based on science. And we are in the process of now scaling up our marketing, and being a part of the Bucks Build program has been amazing. So we'll share more about it as we go along.
Sweet, thanks, Mumby. And then last but not least, never least, Eric Corkhill, Neuralert.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Eric Corkhill. I'm CEO of a company called Neuralert Technologies. We have non-invasive wristbands that are able to detect stroke about 5 times faster than the current standard of care. It's going to save lives and have outcomes that are much better for patients.
Definitely. Awesome. I think that's everybody. I missed anyone. Let's see. Angela, anybody there in the room? No? Okay. All right, we'll leave the room. We'll leave the room alone there. Okay, so I'll get into telling you guys about the program. So we're going to go through what Bucks Built Startup Fund is, how you can apply, how somebody you know can apply, and how you can get involved as well. But we'll also just be open to, I think Mark's, as he said, also an angel investor. We've got folks here that have been involved in all different routes. We've got 2 startups that have raised funding from elsewhere also. So we could talk about the whole kind of the full gamut. And if there's anything in particular you guys want us to cover, just throw it into the chat right now or along the way, and then again, stop us for questions. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see the Bucks Built page, and I'm going to go through that. And John Z, if you just want to share the link out for the Bucks Built page too, so everybody has that in case they want to follow along elsewhere. Everybody see that now? Good. All right. So Bucks Built Startup Fund, it's funded by Bucks County, $250,000 a year. Startup Bucks administers the fund in 2 rounds each year at $125,000 each round, $25,000 investment per startup, and then the 12 months of support each. So we'll go into what we mean by investment, and it's probably one of the most founder-friendly investments you'll see, especially because it is provided by the county. It's not free money, but it's pretty close to it, but I can't call it free money. It is structured as a convertible note investment. So we'll go through what that means. Right here is where you can check out the application. We'll show you that now. We do have some events going on for this month as well to help promote the program and also educate as well and help get the word out. So I'll share that later. But at the very base level, how would you be or someone be eligible as a startup to apply? So it could be any industry. We're industry agnostic. As I described before, the yoga studio versus the yoga platform, got to be innovative and designing for scale. That's the first thing. And that's a little bit of a gray area, so open for judgment sometimes. But the harder requirements, though, it's got to have no more than 5 employees. So you could have yourself and 4 other people. You could have 2 owners and 3 other people, but no more than that. This doesn't include contractors or anybody that's part-time. This is full-time employees, and owners and co-founders do count as that. You have to be currently incorporated. So it could be anything, LLC, C Corp, S Corp, whatever you choose, but it has to be an incorporated entity. It cannot just be a sole proprietorship in your own name at this point. And then the Bucks County piece, you have to have at least one of the following, not necessarily currently, but you have to have a valid reason within the next 12 months. You have to tell us this in the application. You have to either be, one of the owners can be residing in or planning to reside in Bucks County, operating in or planning to operate in Bucks County, or committed to hiring in Bucks County. So we saw some applications last time around that said, yeah, if I get this $25,000, I will hire someone in Bucks County. not quite enough. You have to have some reason on what resources in particular in Bucks County would be of value for you, or what in Bucks County is of particular interest to you. Why do you want to be in Bucks County? So, and that's something you could talk about with us beforehand, and we're happy to help make those connections too. So those are the Bucks County pieces. Mark or Marty or anything to add on those upfront criteria?
The scale thing is pretty important.
Yeah.
Basically, the idea is start here, go everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you think of another example I can give in the more tech space would be like a web design firm, a web development agency. If you're doing custom web development for each of your customers and you are the one hands-on, or your employees are hands-on with that every time, that's not scalable. But if you built something like a Squarespace or a WordPress, that yes, still web development, web design, but anybody could use that platform anywhere. So that's scalable. Mark, you have a question. Mark Graves, do you have any ties to the Ben Franklin partnerships? Yes, we do. Mark Mitchell, you tell him.
Yeah, I'd say we're very well connected with them. So we're completely separate entities. There's no ownership or shared anything like that. But we have one member of the Ben Franklin Technology Partners is on our board. You'll see in a little bit that we have this external screening panel that help us through the process. In round 1 and the upcoming round 2, we had Ben Franklin Technology Partner people on that screening panel. So as you probably know, the angel community and the startup community around Philadelphia and Bucks is a very collaborative and very strong community. And we do have some very strong ties into them. Companies that we think are appropriate for Ben Franklin, we will funnel them and help you through the process of applying for funding with Ben Franklin Technology Partners. And equally, Ben Franklin, the existing portfolio companies of theirs are certainly welcome and well connected into the Startup Bucks program. And we have a few of those people on the call. They can maybe talk to that later as well.
Yeah, I think Mumby and Eric, you both have some interest from Ben already.
Yeah, and actually, Mark, I've also worked with Makerspace NextFab. So if you have any questions about them, I can answer those as well.
Awesome. All right, guys, any questions just on those criteria? I know, Andy, you're in Philadelphia, so this might be of interest for you in this Bucks County piece, but there are two of the 5. But well, Mumby, you're not in Bucks County. You didn't have ties in Bucks County, but you definitely are making early inroads, and there was definitely value that you presented. So, Andy, if you're wondering, there's definitely some ties you could have there as a Philly guy. And I'm actually in Philadelphia right now too. It's where my apartment is. So.
Yeah, great, John. I appreciate that. Fairly new down to the city of Philadelphia, and after 3.5 years here, looking at the possibilities of my house, and don't know if a move to Bucks County is, but definitely curious on the operations within the county would be.
Awesome. Yeah, and Mumby, one thing I know you're looking at right now is fulfillment centers, lab space, and there's the biotech center. So plenty of resources. Yeah,
it's been pretty impressive. I actually, being in the greater Philadelphia area, had never thought of, hey, a possibility that business might, could potentially, depending on how things go, relocate into Bucks County. But since being part of the program, Jon, has connected us with a number of people within Bucks, and yeah, there are quite a few opportunities in terms of the science community. If you're into science and technology, the PA Biotech Center is really impressive. And also in terms of warehousing and programming for small businesses. So I'm still pursuing all those leads to see what shakes out in the next number of months.
Sweet. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to get down to what do the startups receive? So this is Mumby, this is Eric, this is what they've received, what they're receiving ongoing. So the one thing obviously is a $25,000 investment. So it is an investment provided as a convertible note. And I will let Mark just describe that a little bit without going into too much of the detail and using words that we don't understand. But go ahead, Mark.
There's words I don't understand either. But so a convertible note is something that looks like debt, but it actually is intended to operate as equity. So, I mean, it's hard to, without going into too much, some of you may already be familiar, but it's a fairly standard investment structure for early stage companies. We actually modeled the term sheet on what Ben Franklin Technology Partners uses. It's almost identical to that. So it carries a notional interest rate, but importantly, there are no monthly repayments of either interest or principal. As I say, the intent is that at some point in the future, you will raise a larger round of funding. And at that point, that will determine the valuation of your company. And the intention is that the note will convert into equity at that point, along with the additional investment that you're receiving as it comes in. So maybe I'll just pause there. If anyone's got any questions, happy to take them, or we can defer them till later.
Maybe just a quick question, Mark. Do you guys cap that, or do you use discount rates?
So it carries a 20% discount, but there is no valuation cap. So it's 100% reliant on the valuation determined by the following round.
Cool. And Mark put together a lot of great FAQs on that investment details page. So you guys, definitely encourage you to jump into that. A little more detail if you're interested. But again, we've had one of the founders in the last round had their own convertible note they were raising on, and originally wanted to go off of their terms. We provide the full agreement once the 10 finalists are named. We'll get into the process, the timeline a little bit later. But they looked at our convertible note and said, actually, your terms are more favorable than our terms, so we will gladly accept your terms. So we think our terms will likely beat any of the standard terms out there. So it's like Mark said, 3% versus the standard 6%, and so on down the line. So beyond the money, obviously the money is great, but something that is ongoing. So different than your usual accelerator incubator program, which is a shorter term, maybe 8 weeks or 12 weeks, and there's a curriculum and kind of a one size fits all classes or instruction. We structure this more as if we are a board member, right, or an advisor at the table with you. So we meaning the Bucks Built team and really the extended Startup Bucks community. So we have we find a mentor for you if we can find the right mentor for you. We don't force a mentorship upon you, but we connect you with folks that could become mentors. We provide really. These are just a few things. We could probably add a whole bunch of more things, but really anything you need along the way. So if you are pitching for more funding and you want to practice or get feedback on your pitch deck, we're there. Text us, call us, schedule time with us. We're there for you. Focused advising. So if you're looking to get market traction, anything really, all across the board. So we want to help you focus on the things that you need to do to build your business and get customers and get revenue or get more funding too. So it's not, we're going to put you in a class to learn about just basic fundamentals or growth hacking or something that might not be a fit for you right now. It really is going to be a fit. And there's a range of startups that in the current cohort, and I'm sure in future cohorts, some have raised close to $1 million. Others have just started raising. So again, some might want a little more attention. Some might want a little less attention. So we're there for you, whatever you need. And that's 12 months within the program formally, but ongoing. We hope that you'll be part of the community continuously. So Founders 30 is a program that we run every single week. So I definitely encourage you guys to sign up for that one, to definitely attend, if not at some point present there. So that is open to anybody to present, any startup. And the idea there is it's an 8-minute presentation. Where we actually help prep beforehand. You meet with myself and John Z and sometimes John K. You don't have, it's just so happens that we're all John, Jon. But we chat with you. It's more of a therapy session, about what questions that if you could have answered or have connections to help you with those kind of some of those stumbling blocks or some of those hurdles or the thing that would really help you kind of take off or get to the next stage. We dig in on that. And then you pose those questions to the audience. So of course you have to tell them about the business, give them some context, then ask questions. We get about 45, 50 people every single week. from investors to exited entrepreneurs to early entrepreneurs, marketers, lawyers, everyone. And then we use the chat like we're doing here to get their feedback, get their input, and hopefully you walk away with some great connections and great advice. So it's hard to describe without actually just seeing it, but I describe it like you're talking to a mentor, except that mentor is about 50 people that have a huge range of experience and really want to help you out. So then we record it for you, we save the chat log, and we send that along to you, and hopefully you could use that to kind of catapult from there. And then of course you want to help you connect with follow-on funding. It's one of the main things. So we check in and make sure we know your goals. We kind of start with almost like a goals and objectives document at the beginning of the program. And then we check in with that periodically to see how you're tracking on that or see if things changed. And we're always there along the way to make sure we can help you reach those goals that you set. Carl, what do you got? Coalfields, Bucks County. Okay, good base. Okay, cool. Concern is Archbridge. I'm not sure what that means, Carl. Looks like code, but we'll get back to that later. Resources. So what else?
No, it's my companies I talked about. So that's what.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, you're in St. Louis. Gotcha. All right. So resources. Marty, you want to talk about a little bit coherent ways and what you offer up front?
Yeah, sure. My background was in IT services at scale, big companies that do tech. And over the years, I learned that a lot of companies waste money on technology, starting with big mistakes they make at early stages that turn into hugely multiplicative errors that you can end up wasting money on tech you don't need and don't use. So what we do is at the very beginning stages, we teach you and you audit what the tech you're putting into place, what can actually scale, how to avoid excessive cost and use tech as a strategic advantage. And again, that comes from my experience of actually being in the business of ripping off companies in some ways, or fixing huge mistakes that they made for over 20 years. And I come from a company called EPAM Systems, where I kind of semi-retired in 2018 and am now doing other things. So definitely want to help everybody understand tech and operations so that the tech is helping you and you're able to use digital communications and everything else well.
Yeah, and this is the same. It's not one size fits all, right? Marty will sit down with you for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, and it's all free. Yeah. It's all Marty's volunteered his knowledge for that one. I know we helped Startup Bucks a ton to kind of get our house in order. So that's the way I look at it.
Spent 4 hours today on email server issues.
Yep.
So it was not a pleasant job, but somebody had to do it.
But you saved us a lot of money too with
I did. We cut back tremendously. We actually had too much tech when I joined, and we were able to among other things, cut our tech budget almost 50% while increasing the capabilities that we have. So
yeah, so that's something that, having founded a company myself and now Startup Bucks, is that it seems like you never have enough time to get the house in order, right? And just get things in place. And it would be great to have someone that can help you with that. And that's Marty is his wheelhouse. So so that's there. That's one of the first things that we encourage all the startups to do. And then workspace. So eventually, now we'll need to get back in person with some things. So this is kind of informal, but Stacks Co is a co-working space I own in Doylestown, at the center of Bucks County. I see it 3401, actually related to I think it might be in the Science Center here, Philadelphia, and Nomad Works in Manhattan. So kind of got the three main locales in the area there. For if you need space to meet for a day, if you need to just drop in, if you're meeting with someone elsewhere in their office, you need like a home base for the day, or if you needed something longer term. So in that case, if it's longer term, months a month, or something for your team and yourself, that would be not necessarily free, but we would work with you, or they would work with you on a deal on that too. So those are our partners there. And then of course, all the trusted services in the network, accounting, legal, insurance, marketing, whatever you need along the way. And then the community. So the community, you'll see if you attend some of those Founders 30 sessions. So there's the resources. So kind of like Andy, you described it. It's the Gulf Stream. It's not we didn't try to figure it out all up front. We kind of play it by ear like a startup would do and figure out what each customer needs.
A great example that everyone has.
Yeah, and then I would, let's see, down here. One note on IC at 3401, there are some folks to avoid there. The guy that heads it up, Eamon Gallagher, he is not to be trusted, but that's why we say trusted services and trusted resources. So watch out for Eamon Gallagher, spelled E-A-M-O-N Gallagher. So just a note there. Hey, Eamon, how are you? Now, past recipients, so you met two of them, but if you want to get an idea of the startups in the first cohort, check that one out. But let's talk about the process. Johnny Z, maybe this is a good place for you to take over and walk us through what the process looks like.
Sure, why not? So the process to be able to go through and apply is that you fill out this form online that should be linked on this page. It's a pretty, as far as applications go, it's not too terribly complex. It does ask for, of course, standard things you'd be expected to supply, like the logistical details, just of, where the company is, who's actually involved with it, what your business plan is, your value proposition, the way that, you expect to be able to scale and make money, what you would expect to be able to spend the investment dollars on, all that kind of good stuff. So getting just a quick preview here of what the application itself looks like. And then this should take you then to the final page where you have sort of all the final information of what it is you want to fill out. There we go, scalable startup. And then this page here, again, just has sort of all the kind of basic things you'd be expected to fill out for any sort of, startup funding application that you look into applying for. I don't really have anything sort of off the top of my head of, special things to note or to, mention for this one. It's all kind of standard stuff. You do have to sort of elaborate on what the tie is to Bucks County that you would have, as well as, like I said, the sort of standard things you'd expect to see in applications like this. John, how about you hop back in if there's anything else that you can think of?
The application, you can save it and come back to it, and you can print it out as well. We actually suggest that you can save it, you can print it, and then you can actually just type in a Google Doc and then come back and copy and paste. That way you do all your spell check and all that. You don't have to be limited to the space in the box. So you can really make your answers as long as you want, but it gets a little weird, or I guess you can extend there. But yeah, it's short. The average time on application for the first round was about 45 minutes. So it really it's not too bad. At least that's what we saw on the actual form. Oh, somebody's in the room there in person. Hey there. How are you? Nice. Good to see you. Oh, he waved. Fantastic.
Hey,
All right.
John, just to jump in on you,
Yeah.
For those that haven't filled out a lot of these applications, I filled out probably 30. This is one of the easiest, most intuitive. And as you said, 30, 45 minutes and I was done. So it does not take a lot of time, but, be brief and focused and you'll be great.
Awesome. Thank you. And this whole process, we want it to be value add for you, whether you become a finalist or recipient or not. So the period closes June 30th. And then by July 14th, so quick turnaround, we will reach out to you and the finalists, or if you are a finalist, you'll know, but the 10 finalists will be announced within those 2 weeks period, the 2 week period. If you are not a finalist, we will let you know why, just top level via email, whether it was the scalability, the innovation, the Bucks County piece, the entity, if it was something more like just the employees as well. And I will have to say that the innovation and scalability piece, just because we say you were not a finalist because the innovation or scalability wasn't there, it doesn't mean you're not innovative or scalable. It just means relative to the other finalists, they were more innovative. We thought they're, probably more in the scalability, if anything. They were more of a scalable model that's fit for venture backing. So a note on that. But then we also offer anyone that doesn't make it through to the final round a 45-minute call with at least one of the team members. So for that, we dive in, we'll talk through your application, any questions you have of us. It's really your time. And then we'll also help to connect you with any other programs that could be a fit for you as well, or other resources, other funding, other folks you could talk to. So, and then hopefully you'll present at Founders 30 too, either way. So again, we want to give you that opportunity. And then the finalists actually get a practice pitch session, at least one, with us, with myself, Mark, John Z, and anybody else from the Startup Bucks board that joins. to give you a chance to practice your pitch before you get to the final round with a screening panel. So I'll let I don't know, Mumby or Eric just talk about that experience.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in, and I found the pitch practice session very helpful. I would highly encourage that you participate, even if you've been pitching other groups, because I had been pitching quite a number of times prior to that, and I thought that I had it down, but I felt that I should come in front of, Jon, Mark, and I believe I think one more person, and that was really, really helpful. And actually what came out of that in terms of the feedback, I have actually used it and incorporated it to other pitches that I have made. And that has really helped hone our message even better. So definitely participate in that if you can. It's very helpful.
Yeah, I think you'd be losing a real valued opportunity to hone your message, to get really good professional feedback about how certain things resonate, how some things may not resonate. So yeah, you're dealing with people that have heard hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pitches, and they will always have really good feedback for you.
Yeah, I'd like to add to just for a sec before John. One of the things that I know the attitude of Startup Bucks is we want everybody to win. and this is the opposite of a Shark Tank situation. So, it can be painful to not pick somebody, but what we want to do is we want everybody to do their very best, and we're not looking to cut people down. We're looking to build people up. Even if you don't get picked, you'll still be included in the Startup Bucks. You don't go away. We have other things. And so we want to encourage you to just understand that, we're about positively helpful and, driving you to be, to attain your vision. And we really want you to succeed.
Awesome. Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Can I throw one more thing in to get for public speaking is the old fashioned, but still very relevant Toastmasters is really good to work on your presentation skills. And it's not specific to pitching, but you will become a better speaker by participating.
Got it. Awesome. All right.
Martin, maybe I can ask this to you real quick based on the comment. How much do you offer support or services based on this outside of just the monetary investment? Is that something you guys are open to and do frequently? Is a track other than, say, the qualifications related to Bucks? Are you engaged actively outside of this program?
Marty, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this program is one of the things that Startup Bucks does. The Founders 30 program is in and of itself almost a meeting for people prior to the built type of programs. And then we have, in addition to that, we have other events that, now that COVID has kind of lightened up, we're in the pipeline. We had a kind of a more of a physical meet and greet, but we found that these virtual sessions. So we really have a three-legged stool at Startup Bucks, which is, attract people who are thinking about starting up. And then with Founders 30, kind of get them to exercise their ideas in front of an audience that's helpful. And then Bucks Built is to help them find funding, get their first level of funding to make them, get the acceleration, the velocity they need. So there's more to Startup Bucks than Bucks Built, but this particular program is about that, administering investments. But it's one of the three-legged stools of Startup Bucks.
Awesome, appreciate it.
Yep. And we encourage you to come to a Founders 30 meeting, which is every Wednesday at 9 a.m. It's a virtual meeting. Very, very, very powerful time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, so after that, the actual pitch days are scheduled for August 11th and 12th. The pitch itself is 8 minutes, and then followed by 15 minutes of Q&A with the screening panel. Each one of the screening panel members, they're not part of Startup Bucks. They're not part of Bucks Built, but they each are focusing on a specific category to evaluate you on, and that's under the evaluation criteria page, so you could see that. And then by the 17th, we would have the fund recipients selected, and we would talk to you. We'd have already seen the agreement and agreed to it tentatively beforehand, and then you'd sign. So, and within a few days after that, you'd have the $25,000 in the bank. And that's it. Any questions on that whole timeline? Cool. All right. So I won't go into the evaluation criteria now, but here's our screening panel. Nice faces here. You might recognize some, but a good group from across the ecosystem. So angel investors, folks that are involved in the county economic development, Ben Franklin, representative, Glenn Gaddy, a later stage investor, Heather Cotter, entrepreneur herself, Sushma, also later stage investor with Rittenhouse Ventures, and Tammy Williams, an earlier stage entrepreneur with an amazing executive background, and she'll be Mark testifying in front of a House committee for good things though, about entrepreneurship and access to capital.
Yeah, I'm not sure being a witness in a House committee is ever a good thing, but it sounds like this is a good thing.
Oh, Amy, is Glenn speaking right now? Is that, there you go. I didn't know it was right now. Cool. Right now. Cool. And this is our team right now. John, Mark, and John. And then the window's open now. So here's some of our partners. And that's it. I'll tell you guys quick about some of the events we have coming up too. We've got another info session similar to this. Unless you guys want to ask more questions, you probably don't have to attend that one again. But we do, these already passed. We're here right now. And we've got a happy hour, Broken Goblet, Ben Salem. If you're in Philadelphia, it's only, I mean, I'm in Queen Village, Society Hill area. It's a 20-minute drive, knock on wood, to Broken Goblet. It's the southernmost point in Bucks County. And then we have a startup fundamentals, so everything from legal stuff to insurance and all that boring stuff you really don't want to do, but probably should do up front to make sure you're covered. We've got that on June 28th. And then what else? Any Mark, Carl? But yeah, that's all over those events, but I'm going to stop my share. Anything else to show you? But what questions do you have about the program or other programs or fundraising? Are you guys, any of you guys now raising money right now for your startups? And if Andy or Carl, you were working on something?
I'm floating myself through at least a POC, and then once I get towards an MVP and go to scale and then start rolling out with marketing and sales, then I'll probably look at something. But as of right now, I've been doing it myself.
Cool. That would be a good Founders 30 point. We always say, everybody says, a lot of people say, oh, wait, let me come back in a couple months when I have things a little more together. And they say, well, no, now. It's never too early. So I encourage you to check out Founders 30 and get a feel for the forum, but it's probably a good point to just get some of those questions out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, John.
Sure. Anybody else? Noel?
Thanks, John. Actually, for me, I'm out of Delaware actually, and our company is, like I said, just getting started, and my partners are in Delaware County. At the moment, I don't know if we have anything that we could do in Bucks County at this point, but I've just been listening in, just trying to hear other people's experiences and just trying to learn. So I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's probably a good Founders 30 presentation too. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely attend or check in with Johnny Z. Who else? Mark, you're in Bucks County. What are you working on something now? Mark G.
Oh, here. Okay. Yeah. Hi. No. Yeah. I'm in Ivy Land, but I'm likely to be I will be moving soon, but not too far. But not out of, probably not out of Bucks.
Good. Okay.
But now I'm currently in a contract with Comcast Business, but always looking for, you know, and again, this learning I'm doing about the onboarding phase of customer acquisition, yeah, I think could be valuable for a lot of, you know, people in startup situation.
Cool. No, sounds good. Awesome. Anybody else want to add anything or any questions?
I just mentioned it in the chat, but I'll really reinforce it for anybody who is working on a startup. You really, really should attend the Founders 30 Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock. You pitch and you get just phenomenal feedback. So I would really, really encourage participation and just be open to some really good, insightful, and a really wide spectrum of commentary and ideas and experiences that are very valuable to you.
I'll also just quickly add as well, if you are interested in Founders 30 presenting, get your applications in soon, since we are getting a bit of a backlog, and we're actually going to be booked through most of the summer already with the applicants we have. So get it in soon.
And don't, you know, early stage can be pretty early with Founders 30. It can be like, you know, I've got some ideas, I've got some family and friends trying out the ideas, I've made a prototype or two, and we've had people go so far as asking, like, how do I find investors at all? Like, they didn't know where to go for investors. It was that level. There was others who were like, you know, how would I make this idea into a business? You know, some of the, you know, it's real early stage, and, you know, plenty of people already working in another job at the same time. So anyway, just want to, you know, again, it's part of that, like I said, three-legged stool. It's a stage between idea and push, the push stage that we're, you know, this particular program runs.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. And then I'll check in with Angela in the room there. Any questions from the room, Angela? 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 No? No questions from the room? Cool.
Okay, I Carl in St. Louis, I had, you know,
Yeah.
and in my chat, we're talking about coal fields, but what I've done over the years, we transgressed between Philadelphia and Allentown, and I can say that your area is a comfortable place to raise family and live over in the island or at New York City. And that was my comments because my experience of being out your way. And my mom grew up in Philadelphia, and she went to school with Grace Kelly, who was that girl killed in Monaco. And so, but that's neither here or there. But it would be comfortable for St. Louis people to live in your area because of your climate and the personality of the people there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that was about a comment to you guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
The Lehigh Valley has been called the easternmost part of the Midwest. And
Wow.
So Carl's point is right spot on, but
Right.
you know, Upper Bucks especially, and you know, even the rest of Bucks fit that too.
Yeah.
No, that's the greatness of what you people have out there. Yes.
Thank you. Then so Eamon mentioned the Startup Roundtable. So definitely encourage you guys to check that out. It's kind of similar to Founders 30, what we do there. He's jumping over there. I think that officially starts at 6. I'm going to jump over there too. But I hope we covered everything for Bucks Built. If you're not ready for it, if you're not looking for funding, please share it with somebody that is. Just share that with your network. It definitely is a good experience in and of itself. So I think we'll leave it there. And hopefully we'll see you at a Founders 30.
And best of luck to everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.